to talk about something that doesn't get said enough in network marketing circles. There are women in this industry who are absolutely putting in the work. They're showing up to every call, they're hitting their activity numbers, they're building a team, they're doing everything their upline told them to do, and they are still not seeing the kind of growth that matches what they're putting in. And here's the part that really gets me. A lot of those women eventually leave, not because they failed, but because at some point they figure out something that nobody in their upline ever sat them down and explained, that the company was never supposed to be the whole business. It was always just supposed to be one part of it. And that's what this video is about. So I've watched a lot of women in network marketing over the years, and the ones who stood out, or the ones everyone pointed to as the movers, the ones building teams and running challenges and showing up consistently, those women worked hard. Nobody could question their effort. But here's what I noticed over time. A lot of them left, not dramatically, but just quietly moved on to build something of their own. And I think I understand why now. They were doing everything right inside the company's system, but the system had a ceiling. And the more they built, the more they could feel it. Like, you can work incredibly hard in network marketing and still not make the money that you deserve, because the math of how this industry is structured works against you until you have a very large team. So if we think about the 80-20 rule, in any team, roughly 20% of the people will actually do something, and the other 80% sign up, get excited, and go quiet. Which means if you want consistent income from your downline, you don't just need a team, you need a big team, a really big team. And building that takes years, if it happens at all. So these women were working hard, building a team, doing the thing, and still watching their income stay unpredictable, because they were going all in on one company's strategy inside one company's system with one income stream. And that's a fragile place to build a business. So here's what going all in on a company's strategy actually looks like in practice. Your marketing comes from their playbook. Your scripts come from your upline. Your products, your compensation, your audience growth, all of it lives inside somebody else's platform and someone else's rules. And I want to be clear, I am not saying the company is the enemy. I'm not saying network marketing doesn't work. What I'm saying is that treating the company as your entire business instead of one part of your business is where a lot of women get stuck. Because when the company changes something, a product gets discontinued, comp plans shifts, leadership moves around, everything that you've built inside that system is at risk. You don't own the audience, you don't own the platform, you've been building in someone else's house. And I'll take it a step further. A lot of women in network marketing have built their entire community on Facebook. Their group, their audience, their relationships, all of it sitting on a platform they have zero control over. Facebook changes the algorithm, it throttles your reach, or worst case scenario, shuts down tomorrow, and that community is just gone. Years of work vanished overnight. Not because they did something wrong, but because they built everything on a platform that they don't own. And I watched women pour years into a team, into a rank, into a title, and then have to start over when something changed that was completely outside of their control. And that's not a work ethic issue, it's a structural problem. The hard workers weren't failing because they weren't trying hard enough. They were failing to build something that would last beyond the company. So what does it look like to treat a network marketing company as one income stream instead of the whole business? Well, it means you're building things that belong to you at the same time. An email list that you own and control, an audience that follows you, and a community space you own, not just your company page or your company provided website, a platform where you show up as yourself, not just as a rep of a product. You have a perspective and a voice that people recognize regardless of what you're selling. So if the company changes tomorrow, you still have something. You still have people who trust you. You still have a platform. You still have a brand. I think about the women I watched leave network marketing to do their own thing. And most of them had to start completely from scratch with a new audience, a new platform, and new credibility. Years of work that didn't transfer because it had all been built inside someone else's ecosystem. So imagine if alongside building the team, they'd also been building their own list and their own community and their own voice. They wouldn't have been starting over. They'd have been pivoting with an audience already in place. And that's the difference between working hard inside a system and building something that actually compounds. So here's the mindset shift that I think changes everything. I want you to stop asking, how do I build this company? And start asking, how do I build a business that includes this company? The company can be a legitimate income stream, no question. The products can be genuinely good. I hope they are. The community can be real. And none of that has to go away, but it needs to be one piece of a larger picture that you control, not the whole picture. Because here's what happens when you build it that way. You stop being dependent on one comp plan. You stop starting over every time something changes. You stop needing your team to be enormous just to have consistent income. You start building authority and an audience that follows you for your ideas. And that audience will follow you wherever you go. The women who figured this out, the ones who eventually left and built something real on their own, they got there eventually, but most of them got there the hard way after years of building inside a system that was never going to give them what they were actually looking for. So you don't have to wait that long to figure it out. Here's what I want to ask you before you go. When you think about your network marketing business right now, are you building a company or are you building a business that includes that company? Because those are two very different things. And most women in this space were never taught to see the difference. I want you to drop a comment and tell me where you are with this. Are you all in on one company strategy? Or have you started thinking about what a bigger picture could look like for you? I read every single one and I want to know. I will see you next time.